President Joe Biden is the gift that keeps on giving. I have listened to yesterday afternoon's press conference at least a half a dozen times now, and it was only the last time when it hit me. A reporter stood up and asked a question, and it wasn't what the president said. It was what he didn't say. Now, the question was, President Joe Biden, do you believe the filibuster is a relic of the Jim Crow era? To which he responded, yes. Then the reporter replied, if it's a relic of the Jim Crow era, why not just abolish it? And it's the answer that is the key. The answer was that good electoral politics is the art of the possible. That's a quote. Good electoral politics is the art of the possible. Now, what didn't he say? He didn't say good governance is the art of the possible. That's because he's never governed anything in his entire life. The buck has never stopped with him. Ever. Not him, nor his vice president. That's why he defaulted to that answer. Now, the real important part about that answer was he was quoting someone. Do you know who he was quoting? Otto von Bismarck, from the middle of the 19th century, the leader of Prussia. I'll leave you guys a link in the first pinned comment to the history of this man, and tell me if you don't see some striking similarities between the two in the way they operate and their destiny. Guys, I'm telling you, this is the best news ever for conservatives. President Joe Biden might as well have just gut punched every progressive and Democrat across the country. When they heard that, they were crestfallen, because the statement, good electoral politics is the art of the possible, is literally the exact opposite of leadership. It's exactly leadership by committee. Meaning, I'm going to go get everybody together, we're going to sit around a table, and we're going to figure out what's work. That's not what they thought they were getting. This has been the biggest bait and switch in the history of electoral politics. They are lost. Now, to set a contrast, to illuminate this better, I have used this image before. I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. However, pray God, you never encounter an army of lions led by lions. And that is exactly what's going on right now in the state of Florida. I have talked about all of the different people surrounding Governor DeSantis. Byron Donalds, Pam Bondi, our lieutenant governor. The list goes on and on. I would like to add a name, Blazingoli. I would like to add a name to that list. Attorney General Stephanie Moody, former Judge Stephanie Moody, whose father was also a judge in Florida. She threw down the gauntlet earlier today in a press conference in a way that I haven't heard anybody do heretofore. And I am going to play that for you. Now, she was successor to Pam Bondi, and I'm sure a lot of you remember who she was. She is filling those shoes quite well. Now, just to give you guys some context here, this gathering, this meeting, is leaders of the cruise industry that we are trying to stand back up. Here in Florida, one of the things that we're fighting is the most unconstitutional thing I've ever heard of in my life. The CDC preventing businesses from opening until November, even though cruise lines are running all over the world. I mean, Americans are going to other countries and cruising. It's absolutely bizarre that they won't allow our Port Canaveral to start running cruises till November. We're going to attempt to open in July. Now, listen to what she has to say. The governor just asked her, what are our legal options?
You know, what is obviously clear is that the orders that we're operating under are based on outdated medical information, and they're untimely. So even when the no sail order that was put back in place last March, and as you said, Governor, at that point, based on what we knew, I think everyone agreed, probably the smartest thing to do. But since that time, we've moved on, and even though that has been lifted, it really hasn't, because they have put in place a new conditional order to sail, which hasn't allowed you to do anything. So we are still effectively in a lockdown. And when you have a government that is working against the interests, the vitality, the success of the citizens that it serves, that is a problem. And historically, you can see how that leads to the demise and destruction of those that they are trying to govern. It is no longer a government of we the people that are putting those leaders in place and supporting it. You cannot have an agency shutting down an entire industry based on outdated, arbitrary, capricious decisions. And so we will take all legal action as necessary. Governor DeSantis, working with your office, basing that on the information that's given to us, not only by the cruise line industry, but those that have been impacted in Florida. As you know, this also affects the fiscal purse of this state. Our tax revenues are affected when our jobs go away and citizens aren't thriving. And so we've examined all of our options. We will continue to do so. And we ask and plead that this leadership get a little bit more like Florida's leadership. In the details, dig in, talk to the people that it's affecting. Get out of the Capitol, come into Florida, talk to these people like you're doing, Governor. And we expect them to take action swiftly, and if they don't, Florida will follow through.
Great. And what, I don't know if any of you have, what would you estimate?
I will leave that there, and I will give you, of course, the link to watch. The entire press conference is an hour and 19 minutes. But the big takeaway there is we will explore our legal options regarding our ports, and we will follow through. We invite the federal government peacefully to come re-examine the situation. But if we have to deal with them in a confrontational way, we're not afraid to. And we will. Make no mistake, we are not afraid of the deep state. We are not afraid of HAARP. We are not afraid of weather warfare. We are not afraid of all of this nonsense. We're not afraid of the swamp. If they want to fight, let them come. This is how you win. Surround yourself with those on the same mission as you. And that is what we have done in the state of Florida. It's not just the governor, his wife, our attorney general, our representatives in Washington. It's everybody, all pulling together, all in the same direction. DC stands no chance. And this is why. When confronted, he gave up the game. He is still operating as a senator, not as a leader. And every reporter in that room saw it. He couldn't even quote from the crib notes they gave him to speak from. He stands no chance. The federal government, Kamala Harris, no chance against Florida. We're going to win, and we're going to show you how it's done. God bless, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.